Hello and welcome to Atop the Fourth Wall, where bad comics burn. No need for an intro to this, it's US-1! Break out the CB radio, remote control silver dollars, and metal plate in your skull, we're digging into US-1 number 4! I thought I had a copy of the issue, but I didn't. Roll the theme song! Okay, quick recap if you've never seen the previous reviews, which you totally should by now. This series is hilariously stupid and awesome. Ulysses Solomon Archer, yes, seriously, dreamed of being a trucker and got into an accident with his trucker brother thanks to the demonic trucker supervillain known as the Highwayman. Have I mentioned that this involved truckers? The accident left Ulysses, or US as they call him, with a metal plate in his head that let him pick up CB radio transmissions. His rig was then upgraded with James Bond-esque weaponry and gadgets that he can totally afford on his trucker pay scale. He also put a big-ass sign that said US-1 on it, because when you're a truck-driving superhero, subtlety is a thing that happens to other people. Speaking of, that leads us to the cover of issue 4, and dear Lord in heaven. I don't know if this cover is good or bad because, well, just look at it! Soak it all in, my friends. Where to even begin? Oh, how about the big guy right on the front? Big red military uniform, full-on mutton chops, and he even has a sash. Although all his medals are pinned to his uniform, so the sash just seems kind of unnecessary, but whatever. Maybe he's just jealous of the Miss America pageant winners and wanted a sash of his own. Oh, but then right next to this Herculean figure is a blimp with what appears to be Bullet Bill painted onto it. I'm taking a wild guess here that this Captain Monocle Von Sashy Pants rides around in the Shark Teeth Zeppelin. And really, if you had the power to do so, wouldn't you dress up in a fancy red uniform with a sash and a big hat and ride around in a giant blimp that had a shark painted onto it? No, I would. And finally, the chickens. Thousands, if not millions of chickens. An ocean of chickens. For the chickens to be so numerous that they go up to the cab of US-1's truck would probably require an entire country's worth of chickens to be carted to one location. This, my friends, is the true birdemic. No one expected the chickens would be our downfall. Just when you thought it was safe to hit the open road again. The Jaws ripoff Beaks did not do as well as hoped. We open with Retread, the guy introduced last issue, running out to US to tell him there's trouble in the diner. Eh? What is it, Retread? What's wrong? What's that, Retread? Papa Wheelie fell down a well? No, like the second issue, there's a fight in the diner. I don't get it. This place isn't a bar. What the hell sets people off enough in a diner to make them want to kill each other? Hell, a guy gets tossed out a window. Well, actually, I say that, but frankly, it looks more like he's levitating out of it. Oh yeah, and upon seeing Mr. Floaty, Retread decides to stay out of the fight and let US handle things. Man, this place gets more fights than Madison Square Garden. I suppose I should get in there and lend a hand. After all, I was a professional bouncer once. What he means is that the people in the bars would bounce him off the countertops. Though I never was very good at it. This is a weird sequel to Roadhouse. However, his train of thought is interrupted by the arrival of a large shadow looming over him. On that day, trucker kind received a grim reminder. Whatever it is, Retread runs inside into the massive brawl, where we see US is headbutting people right in their skulls, which has got to cause at least a concussion since they don't have a metal plate protecting their skulls. Wide load, dual wielding a wine bottle and a frying pan, some dude with a pie on his head, and Papa Wheelie just looking on in complete confusion at this. How the hell is he supposed to narrate with all this going on? Retread tells US he needs to get outside quickly. However, US turning to look at Retread apparently upsets a guy. Ha! Turn your back on me, will ya? Take that! How dare you allow a momentary distraction in the middle of our honorable duel? Have at thee! Naturally, the guy tried to punch the back of US's head and got nothing but a broken hand for his efforts. Everyone runs outside to behold a massive blimp flying over the place. And as seen on the cover, it has giant shark teeth and eyes painted on. Man, are they already doing promotion for Sharknado 3? The second one isn't even out yet! US-1 in a tale of hot air and chicken feathers. Considering people think that the only food I eat is chicken tenders, it wouldn't surprise me if hot air and chicken feathers are what they think my insides look like. The Zeppelin lowers a rope ladder, and the guy from the cover quickly descends it. Zo! Well, zo to you too, I guess. I am looking for US Archer. Is he present? Yeah, I'm US, and who might you be? I am Baron von Blimp! And he takes out his glove and slaps US with it. I challenge you to a duel! Your truck versus my Zeppelin! Unless they both change into giant robots and start punching each other, I don't see a very interesting fight developing between a blimp and a truck. Please tell me they transform into giant robots and start punching each other. But why, Baron? Kind of an underplayed reaction to all of this, frankly. Although I suppose after demons and a woman with a mind control whip, some over-the-top dude in a blimp isn't really gonna faze you. My motto has always been, financial victory through air power! Ah, so he's the arch-nemesis of the air zone solution. Ever since the Hindenburg disaster, people have mistrusted lighter than aircraft. Well, that and the top speed ever recorded for an airship was about 69 miles per hour in 2004. And there are much faster ways to travel nowadays. I plan to make these marvelous creations thrive again. They shall replace the trucking industry as the major mover of goods in this country and eventually the world! Yes, and there are absolutely no flaws in your plan to capitalize on an outdated and less efficient method of transportation. You are not only a baron of the skies, sir, but of business. He's arranged for a contest between him and US-1, who rightfully asks what the hell is in it for him. And indeed, the Baron says he'll provide information on the highwayman. Sure as my name's Papa Wheelie, that Teutonic twerp was lying, US! I'm pretty sure he's Italian! I know, Papa. And now they're inside the diner, continuing their conversation.
Space is warped and time is bendable.
So many strange things have happened to me in the last few months, I'm not sure what the truth is anymore. For the 9th time, US, it happens to everyone when they get older. It's not that strange. US proceeds to recap the events of the last few issues, though he mentions a few other details, like how his brother Jeff was missing from the truck wreck, and even admits the very James Bond-esque nature of the enhancements of his vehicle. In addition, he knows that the highwayman is actually behind the Baron, since in the last issue a Zeppelin was raining bombs on him, and, well, what are the chances that there are 2 blimps flying around wherever the hell this desert diner is? Wheelie thinks he shouldn't do the contest then, but US is adamant about participating. I didn't just grab the Baron here, because he never would have told me anything about the highwayman. And let's face it, I'm not exactly all that intimidating when I'm wearing this headband. He figures that by playing along, the Baron might accidentally give away information about the Highwayman. And hey, since they know it's a trap, they can prepare for it. Besides, since that aerial attack on me, I've been busy installing some weapons that will come in real handy against the Baron. That's a little surprise I'll have waiting for him. Anti-aircraft guns and surface-to-air missiles, no doubt. And both on the back of a semi. God bless America. The next day, the contest has apparently attracted a whole lot of people, as well as music and a general carnival atmosphere. And we even attracted this guy, who's apparently the major sponsor of the race. Welcome, I say welcome one and all, to the Great Chicken Colonel's Fowls of a Finger-Lickin' Race. I don't think races are usually associated with finger-licking. I am the Great Chicken Colonel, and it is with pride, I say, that I present this finger-licking chicken race. Before Chick-fil-A settled on the whole cow superheroes thing, their marketing campaign was a bit more rip-offy. So as Colonel Foghorn Leghorn continues to go on, and I just realized he's sporting a mohawk and a nose that could shield you from a nuclear blast, US wonders where retread may have gotten to. But enough about the obvious plot point hinting, let's get down to nitty-gritty. So let's shake hands and may the best man win. Sure, put her there, Baron. Never! This sportsmanship is for fools and losers! I refuse! Okay. Also, asshole, you're the one who challenged him out of the blue, and he did not have to accept it all, so up yours. And so the race begins, and naturally, US pulls off into the lead instantly. His friends and family watch as they go off, hoping he's made the right decision. Mary, the waitress, who you might recall may or may not be the supervillainess Midnight, thinks to herself about it. But I can't help worrying about him just the same. US doesn't know it, but I want him for myself. Yes, you've been very subtle about your attraction to him, what with you kissing him on the previous page. If anything happens to him, I don't know what I'll do. I would criticize the book for having her define her existence solely on a man, but she is correct. As a supporting character, she will fade into the ether without him. Or if this was an 80s DC book instead of an 80s Marvel book, she would become US-1 herself.
Yeah, this is Linkara. We'll be back soon. Don't take this the wrong way, because so many people like to get upset when I talk like this, or when other people imitate me and don't have a sense of humor. They're like, oh, poor Linkara, you can't make fun of him. He is Jesus. He is everything. He is... Right there.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic. I just swear a lot. That's the joke. Back credit card, back credit card, back credit card. Ha 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 ha! I'm gonna repeat the same memes over and over again. It gets funnier every single time. I'm just Daffy Duck. That's me. Ha ha! I'm gonna make funny faces in the camera as if my audience are babies. Knock it off! And so the two are off, with US even thinking to himself how he managed to slap a tracking device onto the Baron's back, so he hopes he can later use it to follow him to the Highwayman. No doubt he will pursue in the truck, which at this point I'd be shocked if it didn't have a cloaking device. I do have to give major props to US as a character here. The past few issues have not left him an idiot. While knowingly walking into a trap is probably a bad idea, he is still learning from what happened before and taking some initiative for his long-term goals. Hell, as the Baron starts dropping bombs on him as he did before, he remarks that he can dodge them just as easily as before. Although now we start getting weird. As if the president's new user's fee on gas wasn't bad enough, after Baron von Bozo gets finished tearing up the highway, the cost of repairs will triple our taxes. I would call this author proselytizing, but US, as a trucker, probably would be having those thoughts right now, so you win this round, comic. This round. As the bombs continue to drop, US decides to retaliate. I told Papa I had a few surprises in store for Fatso, and here's where I deliver them. You never figured I'd turn all those chickens into ammunition. Boy, would the guys back at the University of Michigan Engineering Department flip if they could see the anti-aircraft mini-missiles I installed in this rig. And that's why college in the United States is so expensive. And indeed, his anti-aircraft weaponry hits the Zeppelin and knocks the Baron on his ass. Ah! I am smitten! You're in love with him? For this insufferable outrage, I will exact vengeance 1,000-fold!
Full power! Terrible!
He orders his men to take the ship out of range of his weapons and deliberately try to kill him, openly defying the highwayman's orders not to kill him. It starts working as he moves out of range of US's weapons. You'd think he'd have planned for that eventuality. And the shaking causes Retread to fall out of the sleeper section of the cab. He had snuck into the truck to help out, figuring US would need backup. In fact, he quickly comes up with a plan, asking US for a weather report. It's easy enough for me to lock my rig's radar unit into an orbiting satellite and get a bird's-eye view of this whole area. The University of Michigan also taught him how to hack into orbiting satellites and assume control of them. What, didn't your college teach you that? I used to be a meteorologist, a weather forecaster, for a small radio station outside of Tucson. Now, I wasn't any too good at it. Dear Lord, diagram that sentence. But I knew cumulonimbus clouds when I saw them. Okay, they established in the last issue that Retread has basically had every single job under the sun, but he sucked at all of them. Is that his thing? Just picking up random useful information from every single job he's ever done? I would just like to state at this point that cast iron patio furniture will rust if the paint job gets scratched. That's just a little factoid I picked up from when I worked as a stock boy at a patio furniture store. Retread's plan is to force the airship into the storm clouds, since blimps don't work too well in rough weather. US decides to add his own special skills to the mix by using his CB skull to tune in on the radio frequency the Baron is using, actually catching a conversation he's having with the highwayman. U.S. Archer is to be taken alive. I had planned to kill him, but when my agent Midnight failed to do so, and I myself let him slip through my grasp, I realized that with his resources, he might be more useful to me alive. Look, my plans are just very flexible like that. It's not like I'm winging it or anything. US decides to try the same trick he used on the Baron before, playing possum by releasing a smokescreen to appear as if he's been hit. He knows that the Baron will recognize the trick, but hopes it'll confuse him long enough to make him stop dropping bombs. As such, they limp into a tunnel near a mountain, and the Baron orders the airship to the other side and down at the mouth of the tunnel. However, the storm is approaching quickly, and with the mountain in the way, it's cutting off his escape. And thus the trap is sprung. Retread takes the wheel, and US, in a surprising bit of action hero, takes a grappling hook and chucks it at the window of the Zeppelin as they move out of the tunnel, breaking the glass window. The Baron swears that he'll kill US for this, but it seems communication with the highwayman is still online, and he's pretty pissed that he's hearing the Baron defy orders. Yeah, I am through with following your orders. It was bad enough when you forced me to take a cargo of chickens aboard this proud craft, but now this US person has broken one of my lovely windows. Yes, and we certainly wouldn't want to impugn the honor and dignity that comes with that uniform as you command your Zeppelin. Although I suppose it is hard to find window makers who will work on blimps. If you think you felt bad when I broke one of your crummy windows, Tubby, wait till I get my hands on you! Ah! He's going to break my monocle! US glomps the Baron and knocks him over. As they struggle, the blimp starts tossing about left and right from the storm. The Baron's men all get to work trying to keep the thing stabilized, so the Baron has to fight US alone. Although he has a sword, so it's not that hard. Uh-oh, looks like I might have overplayed my hand. I don't think the Baron is in any mood to follow his orders about bringing me back alive. Worse yet, I don't think those chickens are gonna make it to the fast food place. The weather starts getting rough and the tiny ship is tossed. The cargo hold of the Zeppelin is damaged, releasing a crap ton of chickens from it, who all start flapping about everywhere. To make matters worse, US and the Baron are hanging on for dear life on the side of the blimp. Looks like that new Steven Spielberg movie to me, Baron. You know, Poultrygeist. Dear Lord, just imagine if those were your last words. Even the editor's boxes call out the bad pun. by making their own. This one's too foul, even for you, Milgram. I'm afraid we're gonna have to pull it. Ah, don't be afraid of puns. What are you, chicken? In the confusion caused by everything, US goes over to the communication console and warns the highwayman that he's beaten the Baron and that he can't hide forever. Nor do I wish to. Huh? Don't try to confuse me! I'm not trying to. What? I'm so confused now! Well, that's not my fault. What is even happening?! I think that metal plate is squeezing your brain a bit too tightly. US manages to climb back down the rope to the truck. And from the looks of things, there is a stream of millions of chickens coming down from the blimp. You know, in all the stupid chemtrail conspiracy theories I've seen, I don't recall one saying they were actually chickens. Also, if you're expecting me to reference the turkey drop scene from WKRP in Cincinnati, sorry but no. Chickens and turkeys are completely different. For one thing, according to this comic, chickens can fly, since, well, check it out. They just fell from a blimp high in the air and they're perfectly fine. Darn! At the rate the blimp's being carried out to sea, it'll be out of range of my tracking devices in no time. My whole plan to track the Baron back to the highwayman is in the dumper. Why? You still have the tracking device on him, just keep driving around until you spot it. Or perhaps do it in a less conspicuous vehicle. And so our comic ends with Retread congratulating US on beating the Baron on his home turf. It wasn't all that tough, Retread. The Baron wasn't as tough as he let on. In fact, you might say he just sort of chickened out. Those chickens are gonna starve to death in the desert. This comic is stupid and I love it. Despite how goofy and dumb it is, I really did enjoy the comic. Lots of intelligence on the part of our heroes, a lot of goofiness in the premise and the sheer amount of chickens, and a lot of great action, I have to say. Although I do love how we've already run out of truck-based activities to perform, so we have to start bringing in other vehicles for this. Check. I don't want this to end up like that retirement home we accidentally attacked last month. I'm pretty sure one of the old ladies from it is stalking me.
It is confirmed. I also have corroborations from at least 3 other locals about strange phenomena, electrical outages, and a dark figure always covering his face.
We gotta move quickly. Mobilize everyone from your end. I'll start coordinating things from up here.
I am on it.
Dude, what's with all the wigging around here suddenly?
Have you seen the ninja-style dancer lately?
Well, come to think of it, no, but he's usually on tour doing, like, backup dancing for bands and stuff.
Unfortunate. He has not answered his communicator for some time. We must redouble our efforts to contact him.
Are we having a major head trip or something? What am I missing?
90s kid, contact Harvey, find Vyce and tell him to come to the apartment.
He's here, man. I just passed him in the hallway talking to himself.
Then get him. I will issue the recall order for all cybernets in the apartment and anyone else we can locate.
Dude, you want to tell me what's going on?
We found him. We finally found him.
Who?
Lord Vyce. We found him.